And good evening, welcome back to another playthrough live and exclusive to YouTube. I am your host Swishbone for the remainder of the evening, and we are back with a classic from the PS2 era. This is Gran, Turismo 4. For those of you who've never been here before, this channel is usually about playing games blind for the first time, but this is more like a semi-blind return, really. Played this game over 20 years ago, and we are back very much playing this game again for the first time in a very long time, and we're doing a challenge mode where we're essentially trying to use prize cars only, which has been interesting to say the least. For those of you who haven't been here before, whether you've watched me trying and failing to beat races on this game before, maybe you watched me play the Shin Megami Tensei games, or the Persona games, or the Danganronpa games, maybe you were here for the craziness that was the murderous Sonic the Hedgehog, that very strange visual novel game, or perhaps you saw the classic streams like Doki Doki Literature Club, Final Fantasy 7 and Forza 4. Either way, a huge welcome back to all of you, new and old. Without you people, this channel, it would be active, but nowhere near as interactive or as reactive, so get your comments in the chat box that way. Already I've got Queen in there saying, happy, made it, happy Easter to you too, good evening to you. And also, we've also got Joe in there, somebody going, swish! Well, Joe, good evening to you. Right, so last time we played through this game, we did the classic European event, and it actually got us a Jaguar XJ220 Le Mans car. And this is the car I think is going to give us a chance at a tournament that I want to do. And depending on how many days we cover in game, I might be able to show something off that I found online earlier this week. But first of all, let's start with this. Is the British GTR, so I need standard or sports tyres. Okay, that's fine. We will go for a set of probably sports hards. Actually, I'll probably get some, because I expect this car to chew through its tyres. So we'll go with hards. But I'm going to buy, just in case, so I don't have to fit them, I'm going to buy a set of mediums too, just in case. But yes, good evening to you there, Joe. Welcome back. So, we'll try that again. We will go to the GT event. We're bringing a Le Mans car. And I get the feeling that this might be quite a powerful one. It's a championship. As you can see, they've got all these cars there. And I've turned up in a racing modified XJ220. Are we going to be OP or not? That's the question. I do not know. So where are we going to start? I should have paid attention to the map, but I didn't. It looks like we are kicking off at Grand Valley Speedway, and it's the 4-1. As you can see, these are all road cars, and I turn up in a Le Mans car. So let's see. Apparently only 5 points for ace, but maybe that's my tyres. So we've got Lotus Esprits, we've got TVRs, we've got Aston Martin DB9, and then you've got me in a Jag Le Mans car going, get out of my way. So this, as I say, Grand Valley was recently brought back in Gran Turismo 7, but it was called Grand Valley Highway. And it turned into like a weird Southern California highway track, and it's just not the same apparently. I've not known because I've not actually played it. I stopped playing Gran Turismo 7 about a year ago. Not quite a year ago, but a long time ago anyway. Yeah, so I'm expecting this to be an absolute murder fest. This car drives so beautifully. It's absolutely gorgeous to drive. Oh yeah, on sports hard tyres, and that was easy as you like through that corner there. I'm trying to avoid the repeat of what happened in the Lotus when we tried taking on the Nordschleife with soft tyres. And if you all remember, I ended up being at a point where I couldn't even drive in a straight line. The car was that shot with its tyres. So this is more an attempt to get things correct. So Grand Valley is probably like the signature track for a original circuit from Gran Turismo. It takes like the tunnel section of Monaco, it takes the bridges and the highways of many European roads. You've got the sweeping tunnel here, which on the outside is very similar to the road between Switzerland and Italy. And then you've also got a more traditional, almost like American NASCAR road course layout. Yes, you remember that, dear Queen, so do I. It was absolutely horrible. I've never had less grip in my life. The only people who had less grip that day was a Conservative MP. Or Elon Musk when it comes to Twitter. Might be a bit early in the stream for that kind of neo-political content, but it's my stream. We'll do it my way. So as you can see, looking at the track map here, I have got a rather stupid lead. So it's really a case of going down to effort 1, as in not much effort, and just cruise to the flag. Now if you listen to the engine there, did you hear how it was like a constant drop? That's the advantage of playing on a modern PC. You can use proper analog triggers for your throttle on your brake, and it makes a world of difference in this game. It makes it feel much more modern than it is. It makes it feel like a proper racing game from the later generations. Easily stands up to anything on the PS3, possibly even the PS4. So in terms of racing games, this is one of my all-time favourites. I've said it before and I'll say it again, they really hit the sweet spot with this game. I know this bit of it's interesting, in the Gran Turismo community there's a massive divide over which games are the best ones. But that's cool, because it's like in the Final Fantasy fandom. There are those who, like me, believe 7 is the apex. And then you get the ones who are maligned and mistreated for believing that 8 is the best, even though 8's a fantastic game. Then you get the hipsters who are like Final Fantasy 4 is the best. But we're all agreed that Final Fantasy 13 sucked. So it's a nice gentle cruise that I'm putting on for the race here tonight. As soon as I saw it was a GT car, I was expecting to be against cars like this. Meanwhile, good evening to you, Avian. Just seen you jump into the comments there saying hi, how are you doing? Happy Easter to you. We are currently at the wheel of a Jag GTLM. Evan, you say you never played Final Fantasy 13? Be grateful. It was a corridor simulator. It sucked. As you say, Queen, if you wanted to walk down the hallway, you'd do it in real life, or play a game that's more suited to it. You go to the Resident Evil games, there's a lot of corridor exploration there. Same with Dead Space. However, they have atmosphere and control. Just walking down an empty tunnel and then fighting random fights is not my idea of fun. But yeah, I could have gone quite a bit faster here, but I've taken it nice and easy. I thought the best thing to do is just get it home. And we've gone off track, but we've arrested it quite easy. It was literally a corridor simulator game, Avian. Yeah, if you go and watch any footage online, you think it starts off and it would actually be kind of cool as an intro, but it just never really gets out of the halls. It's rubbish. And again, they've done some fantastic like tunnel corridor situations before. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake with the Sector 6 highway, for example. You had Final Fantasy VIII with Ultimicia's Castle. So they've done like enclosed corridor tunnel sections before very, very well, but they just didn't know what they were doing with Final Fantasy 13. I mean, I think, is Final Fantasy 13 the one that's considered having a 20-hour tutorial? Or am I thinking of FF12? So that's race 1 in the book. Not bad at all. Let's go straight through. 12,000 credits. So I was right. So not only is it a corridor simulator, it's a basically a massive tutorial game. That Lotus Esprit was fantastic off the line, but got stuck behind the TVR Tuscan. Whereas I just went, Jaguar Le Mans car, go boo. Sorry, 1 second, people. My cable was getting in the way. I had a cable in the wrong part. That should make things a bit easier now. Okay, let's try that again. Ah, so you had to restart it, and that's when you realised how much it was just not your game, eh, Queen? It's a shame when games do that. Oh! Yeah, we're not really supposed to go rallying on the Le Mans car, but we can do it on this game, so we might as well. One thing I will say for the later entries in Gran Turismo, if you went off track, you did start spinning a lot more. I can't believe you say you actually beat Dirge of Cerberus, Queen. How did you have the patience? The Devil May Cry light game. Yes, we're not going to completely cheat here. We're actually going to take the chicane. Oh, I say we're going to try and take it. We certainly didn't take it. Very, very rough ride there, people. But hey-ho, we made it. Now, this is where the car I'm in will open up the taps and leave them for absolute dead. They will not be able to corner through there at 100 plus miles an hour. No chance. Whoa, what the? No. Went a bit deep then, people. Just a bit. Just a bit deep. I pushed a bit too soon then and went too far to the outside edge, and that pulled me off the track. But that's okay, because it's all about learning your points. Some of the brake and marker posts on this game aren't as on this track aren't as easy to spot as on other circuits. But it's all part of the challenge. It's a good circuit, Fuji. As I say, I went here in 2015. It's where I shared those photos on my community tab a while back. Really good weekend actually, I really enjoyed it. And I will say the Japanese fans are awesome when it comes to motorsport. You can talk to them about all kinds of stuff and they just soak it all up. They lap up all the stats and the data, and you can have conversations about even the chief mechanics with them. It's a fantastic experience. I've still braked way too late there. I think you need to brake about 120 metres. Because it's a steep downhill section, that corner, it's hard to compensate for the speed difference, I think. I can't comment too much on Dirt and Tarmac, Queen, because I never really got through it. I tried playing it and I was like, what is this? This is not a Final Fantasy game. I'm not enjoying this at all. So knowing Milo, that's now going to be a PS Plus Premium Classic next month. Knowing Milo. So we're cruising to the flag for this championship. That's the idea here. We're going to cruise to the flag and see what prize car we get for winning the International A license race. Should be a decent car with any luck. The question is just how decent. Nice visual glitch there. I do apologise for that, people. There's not much I can do about it. It's the way the game's being played. Yep, so as you can see, I've already got a race victory in the pocket here on this race. So, in this tournament so far, so that's kind of cool. You never liked Vincent because you lost control of his limit break, Xavier. I must admit that was actually quite annoying. I mean, don't get me wrong, in certain areas it could be useful, but a lot of the time I didn't really like him. And to be fair to him though, he had the best magic stat after Aerith. Because of course Aerith had best master stat, she was best girl. But Vincent had a fantastic magic stat, so he was a great magic user. We're at El Capitan. So it'll be another grid start, this one, so it's another race I don't have to qualify for. Yeah, as soon as I got this car and I saw it was a GT event, I thought this would be perfect for the GT Tour. Wrong. It's far too powered. You would all turn to my left, wouldn't you? Never mind, no big deal. I gotta say, I wasn't a fan of using Vincent much either. Having said that though, to be fair to him, if you put in the grind, and by that I mean weeks of grind in battles, you can actually make his weapon death penalty so powerful it can kill even Emerald weapon in one shot. You can actually do it. It's possible to do. Because if you do enough kills with death penalty, the damage to that weapon scales by the amount of kills done, and it can get to the point that you break the damage cap and the code is just nonsensical code, so the game just instantly kills the character you shoot. So people have actually beaten Emerald weapon in literally like 8 seconds thanks to Vincent. That's his one redeeming feature if you're willing to put the effort in, but it takes a long time. But what people were doing was actually running it using elastic bands over the controller and literally leaving him like on the outskirts of Midjar by himself on auto battle, just so he could kill everything, just so he'd kill anything in sight. So I've never had the patience to do it myself, but that's how you do it. I've cheesed a lot of games bosses in the past, but that's one of the many ones I've not ever cheated on. Same with Demi-Fiend in Shin Megami Tensei 5, I've never cheesed him either. Even though I've recently found out there is a way to cheese him if you really, really know what you're doing with certain Magatsui skills, but I prefer the old-fashioned tactical battle for Demi-Fiend in SMT5. It was 2.5 hours of hell, that fight, but it was worth it. So I was going to finish this race quickly. We're on lap 2, so get through the lap times as best as we can, and then after that I'll do another read of the live chat. So I do apologise if I don't get to your messages straight away, people. Without pausing the race every 2 seconds, I'm not going to be able to do it, and I don't think you're here to listen to me doing an audio book of the chat. I'd like to, you want to get involved in the discussion, so please keep your messages coming, and I'll get through to them when the race is over. Yeah, this car is a bit of a cheese fest for this. So the moment it said the GT tournament, this is the kind of thing I expect. And as you say, Avian, that's right, don't celebrate too early. That's one comment I just caught out of the corner of my eye. I learned my lesson on the last time, didn't I? Trying to show off and lost a lap. So on sports tyres, this car can't do high-speed cornering the way it normally would. I reckon on racing tyres, this would be a joy to drive. It's a joy to drive on sports tyres as it is, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad car. But it'd be even better on racing tyres, proper slicks. Plenty of high contact patch on the road, maximum grip, low, yeah. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, I really don't. We're getting close to the end here, people. We're almost at the top of El Capitan. Oh, that was a bit too close. Got away with it. Mainly because there's no damage physics in this game. That's the only reason I got away with that. Yeah, the high speed change of direction on sports tyres, this car does not like. It slides all over the place. But that's okay, because we're still going to finish strong. That'll do nicely. Ah, yes. Ah, nice, you see. So, Fiona, you say you met the cheeky girls, and you accidentally called them the cheetah girls. It was a quick joke. And, yeah, you say you found Emerald easier than Ruby, Avian. Emerald is easier if you know what you're doing. One of the interesting things about Emerald Weapon, what most people don't know, is that he's weak to gravity. So if you have elemental gravity, you can do 9999 for every slash of any move. So if you've got Omni Slash, you'll do maximum damage every time you mime it. It makes him really, really easy. Whereas Emerald Ruby Weapon, as long as you're going with 2 party members dead, so he puts his tentacles straight into the ground, all you then have to do is use W Summon, use Hades, Knights of the Round, and repeatedly cast Mime. I did that on a live stream years ago. It was the most boring live stream in the world, but it worked. And if you had the Mist style armor equipped as well, that reduces his accuracy severely, so you can make a big difference to your impact. It's a bit strange about the bingo balls. Well, is there some kind of like live bingo event, I'm guessing, Fiona? Was that what that was? Either way, it's interesting to say the least. So we are Infineon Sports Car, but we're on the sports car course. That's not too bad. Sports car course is not so bad. It cuts out the infield loop. Well, does it? Well, that looks like the regular course to me. That's not the unless it means sports car, as in Le Mans car. That makes sense. Yeah, they have the sports car course and the stock car course. That's where I got my things mixed up. Then I was looking at it, I'm like, that looks like the regular loop to me, and now I know why, because it is the regular loop. So we're in full chase the rabbit mode here. It's a rolling start. We're starting at the back of the pack, and already I'm up to 3rd. Because this car is a bit OP. The Jaguar. Not Jaguar, Jaguar. I'm British, we call it a Jag. Go along on the A, Jag. It's okay because I've got a Jag. Awfully sorry dear, do you mind getting the bill while I go and fire up the Jag? Yeah, there's something like caddish about driving a car like a Jaguar. You have to have an attitude. It's like, I know I've not quite done my taxes correctly, but it's okay because I drive a Jag. Kind of thing. It's like, there's that kind of, like, it's the ultimate sense of, I'm a ducker and diver, I'm a piece of scum, but you all love me kind of thing. I mean, all the great scumbags drove Jaguars. Arthur Daly drove one. There was loads of the British gangster movies all drove Jaguars. Hell, there was even the advert, if anyone remembers it, where you had Ben Kingsley, Mark Strong, and Tom Hiddleston advertising Jaguars, like British villains. Have you ever noticed the whole movies, all the villains are played by Brits? Yes, the reason for that is because we're all twats. That's why we play all the bad guys in movies, because we're all twats. But yes, it's quite a nice course to drive. It's got a very nice flow to it. It's a very nice, smooth rhythm once you get into it. It's weird because normally you wouldn't associate a course with this many undulations and change the direction with Le Mans, but it's actually a very popular course in sports car racing, particularly in America. It's an American circuit, obviously, known more colloquially as Sears Point, which I think is a really cool name for a circuit, actually, when you think about it. It's like, here we are at Sears Point. It's just got a nice ring to it. It sounds very... It's got a real nice edge to it as a name. But so far, so good here. Oh, I've gone nowhere near the apex there. That was a rubbish corner. I got away without going off track, but I was absolutely nowhere near it. That was terrible. I just wish my software wouldn't keep telling me to get ready to drive. I'm there, 120 miles an hour, get ready to drive. Yeah, because the car's really driving itself. It's that good. Oh, yeah, just about held that together. Just being the keyword. And now we're getting somewhere, and we will go into the edge here. There goes the cone, because why not? Got those old mobile phones at the side of the track on the banners, them. Ancient technology compared to what we use these days, eh, people? And we're close to the edge here. Are we going to set a fastest lap time? I don't know. Let's find out. No, we're not. Never mind. Still a good lap. Not bad. Nice. Ah, right. That's interesting. Pop bands and bingo. Not my kind of event there for that one, Fiona, but still kind of cool. That's pretty cool. That sounds like a fun night. Because I don't really know much about them, Fiona, so I can't comment on that. As I say, it's not my genre. That's the key thing. I wasn't really into that kind of music. Unless it's Japanese music. For some reason I got that one, but other ones never really got into. I think there was always something that felt false about it, and I don't know why. Ah, it's midway. So Avian, that's your trick, is it? Muttering ancient technology. Well, we've won the tournament, because this is the final race and I've got 2 race victories in my pocket, but I'm going for the sweep. I want to take the British GT Championship all the way. Here we go. And I think we're doing this one in reverse. We're doing this in reverse. I don't remember ever driving this track in reverse. I'm sure I've done it at some point, but I don't remember it. So this could get interesting. Let's get your TVR Cigaris out of my way. Oh, my car lost all grip then. I managed to go off track on a cambered corner. That takes a lot of doing. To go off track when the corner is cambered in, you've really got to get it wrong. Which I did. I got it badly wrong. It takes a special level of skill to manage to screw up when the track is literally designed to tip you into the corner and you still go wide and off the circuit. That takes a particular type of talent. The talent that no racer wants, but it's a type of talent nonetheless. I have to brake here because I've not got the high-speed cornering in these tyres. But that's fine. The only problem I have with this circuit is it's too short. We could do with an extra loop somewhere, just to up the lap times a bit more. It's a nice club-level circuit, you know, for like intermediate cars or touring cars maybe. But for high-level sports cars, it's just not long enough, this track. It lacks the prowess to take you all the way to the edge. Half of the reason the lap times aren't that fast is the tyres. On a set of racing tyres, I'll be around here in like a 115, I reckon. It's got some nice hairpins, don't get me wrong, and it's got some great elevation changes, and there's some really nice chicanes. So as a template for a circuit, this is great. But if they ever were to bring this circuit back, they need to add an extra loop somewhere. I'm not sure where, because I'm not a purist of the game, so I don't know what I want to do to change it. But this would be a good layout for the lower tournaments. And then for the higher level races, an extra loop somewhere in the middle. Yeah, there we go, that's better. That's much smoother. Whoops, that was bad. That was poor. That was a very sloppy handle in that. Oh well, I said I'd be around at about a 115 on racing tyres. I've just done a 119 on sports hards. So if we're on racing mediums or racing softs, it would be probably like a 108 or a 105, which is just too short for a race. It's just not really got it in. Here we go, motoring towards the final track. Excellent on the outside, not bad at all. So this course set in Japan. You can tell that because of the cherry blossoms on the trees, but more importantly the sponsors, Falcon and particular Autobacks. Autobacks are kind of like Japan's version of a very high level like car dealership over here in the UK, like Bristol Street Motors or Halfords. So you can tell this is a bit more Japan centric rather than European. Yes, here 116 was my fastest lap time. Nice circuit, flowing circuit, just not long enough in my opinion. So, oh god, Avery, your dad's first TV set was black and white. I remember briefly seeing one of them in my own property. Up until about 2009 here in the UK, you could get a TV licence for black and white TVs that was vastly reduced in colour. I couldn't believe that anyone was still using a black and white TV, let alone wanting to get a licence for it. Which is insane. So it's a shame that Fiona, you say you lost all the rounds of pop music bingo. Hopefully you'll get another chance next time you go. Can't really speak about Mario Kart Double Dash because I've not played it. So it'd be erroneous of me to provide any comment on that. But real life go-karting, that's something I want to do one time. It'd be a lot of fun. So that is the tournament in the bag. We have just done the British TT tournament. We absolutely destroyed it using the Jaguar XJ220. And the car we've got is... Oh, hello! This is one of the all-time great cars from the UK. The Jaguar E-Type. It is a sensational car. Absolutely gorgeous. Those lovely sloped headlights, the very long bonnet, the giant engine. Very much the UK's answer to the Corvette. Only it was better than the Corvette. Beautiful car. So the question is, what is our total percent completion now? We're now at 23% completion, and we're on day 363. That's quite important, but I'm not going to explain why just yet. Now, first of all, is there a Jaguar tournament that I can enter? No, there's no Jaguar. There's no Jaguar Cup, essentially. But I can't compete in that. This car won't compete. It needs to be an actual touring car. That's the Italian Fiesta. That's the European Classic Car League. That's German only, isn't it? Yeah. And again, German cars only. BMW 320i, Opel Speedster Turbo. I wonder if I've got a car that's suitable for that. If not, I could always use the Jaguar that I've got now to try and do the classic car race. Ah, you've actually seen an actual E-Type Jag before, Joe, at a car exposition. I saw one years ago. Manchester used to hold an event which has now fallen away, unfortunately, where they had like basically a load of people just brought the cars in. I've got photos somewhere, and they've got a photo of me next to a real-life GT40. I can actually put my hand below my waist, and I was still above the roof. It was insane to see up close. I couldn't believe it. So, have I got a classic German car? I mean, I'd say a German car that'd be competitive. I'm not sure I do. Yeah, I don't have any German cars. That's frustrating. Let's get in the E-Type Jag then. It sells for 10,000 credits. Yeah. Good luck finding an E-Type Jag in the wild for anywhere near that price. Good luck. You're going to need it. A lot of it. Right, first of all, we will go and change the oil. Yeah, it was in, I can't remember when it was actually, Fiona. It was back in about I'd say 2019 actually. It was at the former Event City, which is now gone. And essentially it had like all 4 areas of events set up. You had everything there. Like they had Dodge Chargers there, like all classic Chargers, the all classic Corvettes, all classic BMWs, really classic British cars like the Jag E-Type or they had the old Fords like Mustangs and classic Cortinas. They had even some like really obtuse ones like Reliant Scimitars and things like that. So they had all different kinds of cars. It was literally just a place to go and see cars. That's what made it great. I don't know if the event's moved anywhere else, but it's quite a popular event. I wish I knew what it was called, but I'd say one of my friends took me and it was fantastic. Right, so cars up to 1970 and standard or sports tyres are required. The question is, what tyres have I got on this car? I better find out what tyres I've got on the Jag E-Type. I've got sports mediums. I'm going to buy a pair of softs, but I'm not going to immediately equip them. I'm also going to see if I can give it a slight tune-up, just give it a bit more power. Yes, this is the part of GT4 which is quite annoying. The menus that load for whatever reason. I don't know why they need to load, they just do. Better brakes. Being able to stop faster. Now this is the part of any Let's Play which is really rather boring. Menu management. You see it all the time in JRPGs. Speaking of which, if you want to check out an interesting stream on JRPG, it's got a Queen 32's channel. Started playing through the FemC version of Persona 3 Portable. So if you want to see an alternate take to the story compared to the one that I did, it's well worth checking out. Very funny. Especially with the difference in the actual UI and the way the game plays. It's a very different vibe. There's different soundtracks, different everything, really. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to spoil the playthrough because it's been done blind. Right, I think 400 brake horsepower should be more than enough. Watch me now, it'll turn up that they're all in like 100 horsepower cars, but we'll see. I don't, because it's like a classic British event, I don't know what kind of things are going to go up against. But we'll find out, won't we? It's in the Europe Classic Car League. We might see a few like roofs, like Porsches maybe, for this, and that could make things tricky. Oh, we've got an actual tournament. Right, go on then, we're doing it. Ah, 1 lap of the Nürburgring. We should be okay for our tyres. We should be okay. It was when we had 2 laps, that's when the tyres were absolutely undrivable. Because it's a championship, I can qualify, but as the race is only 1 lap long, there's no point. There's another Jag E-Type in here. There's a Ginetta G4. The Lotus Alarm, that could be a problem. That Lotus could be a major issue. As for that VW Kamanan gear, I've no idea what that car's like. Let's find out. I love the fact that I've got a purple E-Type. That's a very cool colour for an E-Type Jag. Very, very nice. I didn't see what the A-Spec points was. That's a good idea to tell you what the difficulty is. I get the feeling it shouldn't be Yep, so here we are. So I'm nothing I can do here. I'm not in control, but now I am. Oh, feel the dip on the car then. Did you feel the dip? You see how it dipped into the corner? That's very endemic of an old car with a very, very heavy engine. Oh God! I'll tell you what, this corners very, very well when you're going flat, but when you're on the brakes, the nosedive is absolutely insane. Yeah, the long hood is beautiful, isn't it, Joe? It's the same in the old classic American cars like the Charger and the Pontiac, and the old Pontiacs like the Pontiac Grand Prix. The long bonnets are just fantastic. We call them bonnets over here in the UK. But obviously hoods are what they're known everywhere else in the world. They're beautiful. Well, I'm meant to be obliterating these cars, but so far they're pulling away from me. Oh. Right, I'm going to have to get on the brakes here. That's a very, very deep bump, and it would have sent my car flying into the ether. Oh. This is a very tough challenge to drive a car like this on the Nordschleife, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Right, I could do with changing the gearbox. The gearbox is too short. There's just one problem. I've not got a racing gearbox, so I can't. Oh, keep your foot in. Be brave. Be brave. Yes! That's car control. That is the best car control I've done in a long time. I can't pump my brother up the backside. That's not a good idea. Oh, I've done it anyway. Sorry, mate. Yep, very close indeed, Joe. You're not wrong. Very, very close. They've got to be wearing tyre wear as well. That was the issue with that. But the good thing is they did it on grass, so it wasn't biting the tarmac as much. So ironically, I might say some tyre wear doing that. It's the tyres that I'm concerned about here. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, I've got to try and pull away here, because if I don't, I'm going to be absolutely screwed on the long straights. So I've got to try and pull away now. One thing I have is great acceleration compared to these guys. Yes, yes, good, excellent, okay, great. And I'd say it's for a prize cars run. We've got some decent cars. We've obviously got the Jaguar Le Mans car, which will be great for the higher powered events. We've got this, which is doing a great one of the classic races. By tuning this up further, I could even use this in the 1,000 miles. But the 1,000 miles will be a stream all by itself, because from what I remember of those races, they were very long. Well, when they're like 1,000 miles, that should tell you everything. What's more commonly known as the Mille, which Sterling Moss was a multiple winner of, I believe. Very famous Italian road car event. I might actually have somewhere in my collection, courtesy of my friend Andy, the Mille game for the PlayStation 1. They actually made one. Never played it myself. I really should dig it out at some point as an obscure racing game. Yeah, so can you see now, I'm already topped out. I can't go any faster, my car's redlining. So I'm going to be a sitting duck on the back straight below the bridge at this rate. Oh, the AC427. Is that the AC Cobra? I bet that'd be great for it, actually. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. There's another car I could possibly use if I can get it, which is the Chaparral 2J. If that qualifies, that'd absolutely obliterate the competition. Yes, that's right, Mr. Fondue. Get ready to drive. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of that message. It really annoys me. I'm there going through the carousel at 75 miles an hour. Get ready to drive. 1960s E-Type Jaguar that can drive itself, people. Yeah, we are driving miracles here. It was the British Cobra, not the Shelby Cobra. Excellent. When they actually were known as AC. This car is so much fun to drive. It might be from 1961 and dip worse than an old roller coaster, but it's fantastic when you get into the corners at high speed. It's just got such a joyous change of direction. It's got beautiful engine sound as well. Because the PS2 engine sounds weren't that great, but I really like this one. Just about kept it on the island, that'll do. Nothing wrong with that. That dip there is very deceptive. If you don't brake before it, you fly into the sand. It is a nasty corner, that one. Tyres so far are hanging on okay, which is fantastic news. Last time I was on this circuit was when I was driving my Lotus Esprit, and the tyres were chewed to pieces. You all saw that live. It was worse than driving on sheet ice. It was that bad. I went from first to last, and I came like 2 minutes behind the pack. My grip was that bad. Into the mini cell. Yep, great, fantastic. I have to get away quickly here. Can't afford to go off track. Cannot afford a mistake here. That'll do, let's go. Because this section here, I am going to be an absolute sitting duck. There is nothing I can do about it. I'm going to be at least 20 or 30 miles an hour slower than the field. You see there, it's topping out at 150 and digging back up again because I'm hitting the rev limiter. And the reason for that is I've not got a custom gearbox. So the problem is I could go much faster than this. I could probably get as high as 170 with the right gearbox. But unfortunately I didn't upgrade the gearbox, so I'm stuck with this. Though it made mincemeat of that corner at least. Brilliant, that'll do nicely. For a car from the 1960s, less than 8.5 minute lap time, that's pretty impressive. Whereas the other E-Type Jag came behind me by... How far? How far did he come behind me? It isn't close. It was so far away, he didn't even get a time on the board. I'm quite surprised. Yeah, European cars are the only ones that can enter in the 1,000 miles. That makes perfect sense. But no, it's cool. Say, meeting the celebs over the weekend sounds kind of cool, actually, Fiona. Can't remember the last time I've met any celebs, actually. Probably the last time was when I was at the cons. Oh, John Romero, when he absolutely pasted me on stage at Play Expo last year in Blackpool. That's the last time I met a celebrity. Yes, I had my soul reaped by John Romero at his own game live. And it was amusing. Right, grid start of any luck, so I'm hopefully not going to have to worry about getting started here, and I don't. That's fantastic. Say, advantage of playing on a modern PC, using like a proper Xbox controller with analog triggers, just makes a world of difference when you're trying to get off the line. You control your revs so much better. Right, downhill braking with this dip is going to be not much fun at all. Still, Driving a car from the 60s in a track from the 80s. That's not the layout I remember. That's not the 80s layout. Or no, it was that. No, I was driving the 90s layout last time I was here. That caught me out. So the problem with this is this circuit layout is really not designed for the car I've got in terms of its gearbox. Corners like this are. Get heavy on the brakes and then use the faster acceleration to pull away. But the problem I've got is I hit the top speed far earlier. So on that mile-long straight down to the first hairpin, they should, keyword being should, eat me for breakfast. Have me on toast, as we say here in Britain. Although that was very smooth through that corner, that felt very nice. Yeah, up to 150 and straight back down, which is annoying. But the dot's not getting too close, so I think we're going to be relatively okay with that. We don't screw up here. So to make sure of it, I'm braking early, and that is the best of taking that corner all day. Oh, you don't like the 80s version, do you, Joe? I mean, I will say that the 80s version of this track is quite a fast one to drive. It's good if you've got a car that's like more a drag setup than a grip setup. But as you say, it does feel a bit, apart from a couple of hairpins, it feels a bit more like a nothing circuit, doesn't it? I think the lower downforce cars would be great fun because you'd be able to do a lot of side-by-side dueling due to the high-speed nature of it. Interesting, Mr. Fondy. You say you're not a fan of Fuji at all. You think it's a miserable track. When I went to it in 2015 to watch the World Endurance Championship, it was fantastic. Being there in the grandstands was just so much fun. But I think part of that was not only because of the track in general being quite well suited to it, but it was good because of the multi-class. This was, of course, in the days of the LMP1, LMP2, GT3, and the GTE ARM, or whatever it was. These days now with the LMDH and the LM hybrids, it's not quite the same. But this looks like another victory. It's going to be chalked up in the column. Another W. There we go. So on a track that's much shorter, my main rival came 12 seconds behind me, so it was 6 seconds a lap slower. Yes. My Red Bull car go burr, it would seem. This is what it's feeling like at the moment. So again, for those of you who are F1 fans in the audience at the moment, when are we going to be giving Constructors' title to Red Bull this season? What race do you reckon it's going to be? Yeah, that's fair, Mr. Fondy. You say watching people race around it's fun, but actually taking part in it. Yeah, I can get that. I mean, as I say, it's like this. We all have those kind of circuits where a load of people love them, and then when you get down to driving, you think this is just horrible. Ooh, the full version of Opera Paris in reverse. Okay, let's see how we go. This is going to be chaos because it's a narrow circuit. We're in old cars, very rear wheel heavy, and we've got a very heavy front nose on the braking, so this is going to be a right hoot. But I don't mind getting a pass before the race has even started. More of that, please, game. You think Spa, Mr. Fondy? You think it's going to be as late as Spa? I admire your enthusiasm right before the mid-season break. I mean, I don't know how many races into the season that's going to be, because you have to think about it in terms of mathematical possibilities, don't you? In terms of being caught up. I must say, massive props to Aston Martin this season. Aston Martin have been absolutely superb. They've been a massive breath of fresh air. Major props to Aston. Give me your slipstream, Lotus Alan. Thank you very much. Oops. Sorry, mate. I don't know how I got the car stopped in time, then. Considering A, I clipped a car on the way in, and B, I misjudged my braking point. Not quite sure how I did that, but I'll take it. This circuit's not that fun normally, but I'm having quite a lot of fun driving it in this car, surprisingly. You think Circuit Americas or Suzuka, Joe? I think it's going to be earlier than that. Knowing that our luck, do you know where it's going to happen? The Netherlands. Knowing our luck, it'll happen at Max Verstappen's home track. I'm calling it now. I agree, Mr. Fondue. If Vettel was alongside Alonso in that car this season, that would have been something for the ages. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Lance Stroll has improved. But if you could have, and let's be fair, Lawrence Stroll's got the money to do it. Both Vettel and Alonso, multiple world champions in a car as good as Aston designed this season, the second half of the season would be extremely competitive. The feedback from those two drivers together would be legendary. I absolutely agree with you. It felt like my car was trying to dig its way to Australia then with the amount of torque, the wheel spin. Yeah, using the wall as a way of braking is a bit of a cheat. But it's my race. I'll do what I want. I think I need to be very gentle on the power. Yeah, it's like driving with extremely sensitive traction control. This car, it's spinning its wheels up very, very easily. So you have to be very delicate on the throttle, more like someone in the vein of Jackie Stewart, Alan Prost, or Jenson Button. And in terms of driving style, that's not me. I'm more Juan Pablo Montoya. Stamp your foot on the accelerator and hope for the best. In fact, no, I'm being too fair on this. I'm being too kind to myself. I'm more like Jeremy Clarkson. You know, it's like power. That's more my driving style. Still, it was enough to win. Avian, I've been there and done that using the wall to brake when ice skating. I've done that, believe me. Ice skating is lethal. I am absolutely useless at ice skating. I'm terrible at it. And I heard that the Super Mario Brothers movie did quite well, Fiona, from what I understand. I've not actually had any interest in seeing it myself, but it's one of those films where apparently the critics can't stand it, but the audience are loving it, and at the end of the day, the audience are who matters. The critics aren't the ones who are making the films. It's not made for them, it's made for the fans. Oh, we got the full length of Suzuka, but it's only one lap. Okay, let's go for it. Another grid start, which is excellent news for me. So, bear in mind, this is a European-centric tournament, this, with European-only cars. And this is the second race that's taken place in Japan. Something feels a bit egregious with that. Le Mans in this game. We have Deep Forest, which is canonically in Germany. We have Trial Mountain, which at this point in the series would have been set in Scotland. Why are we not using those circuits? He says he's probably spoiling the rest of the lineup for the tournament now. At least we've used an Nordschleife though. We've used a classic track from Europe. Now this circuit is one of my favourites in the world. I absolutely love this circuit. It is very, very hard, but it is so much fun. Yep, that's fine. We can use the outer rumble strip there. Into Dagna 1, very easy to fly wide, and into the sand at Dagna 2 as a result. And of course, Suzuka, unique circuit in the Formula 1 calendar, the only one with a figure of 8 layout, technically. Abu Dhabi kind of does with the underground pit lane, but the track doesn't cross over itself technically, so that doesn't count. Suzuka's the only one officially recognised. Meanwhile, good evening TRS to Jack, just see you drop into the chat box there. How are you doing, mate? Say you're late? Well, there's no such thing as late on my streams. You come when you want to, you go when you want to. You do not owe any streamer your time, people. I've always said this. Any streamer or content creator who feels entitled to your time is someone you shouldn't bother with. Your time is precious. Use it for what matters to you. But I do appreciate all of you watching, so thank you very much. Without you people, the stream would still be here, but it would not be as engaging. So, massive thank you to all of you. I'll need to do a slight break here. Nope, I'm going to go wide. I'll use the RC as a runoff. Got that completely wrong. Made a total hash of that. That'll be a 10-second penalty. And then a further 10-second penalty for failing to serve it correctly. I'll let Esteban Ocon. And that's that. Oh, skiing. I've never done skiing. That's a serious leg breaker, Avian. I've never wanted to try it. That is bad. No, 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 no. Absolutely not for me. Well, the Jags are dominating this tournament. It's a 1-2 for Jaguar. So let's get ready to get on to the next race in this tournament. Now, Avian, that's smart. Hiding in the lodge while everyone tries to kill themselves on the slope. You've got the fireplace. You've got the books. What's not to love? Ah, we are in Deep Forest. I called it. I predicted this track. And looks like we're going in reverse. Right, okay. Oh, come on. It's not a grid start. This is literally a closed racing circuit with a grid. Why aren't we doing a grid start? Oh, well. At least we've got a massively attractive crowd in the final grandstand there, people. The crowd are going wild. No, don't throw me to the left, game. What are you doing? I throw me to the left when I lose control of the car. I don't need you to do it for me. This track, interestingly, is Kazunori Yamauchi, the actual creator of this series. It's his favourite track, Deep Forest. It's a shame what they did to it in Gran Turismo 7, where they added that pointless long hairpin loop at the end. Same with Trial Mountain. Why did they add those boring final hairpin chicanes? What was wrong with the quick flick left and right? Yeah, that's not how you take that corner, people. Crashing into the wall is not the fastest way around the corner. You might be surprised to learn this. Get out of my way. There we go. It's quite a nice, fast and flowing track to drive, I agree. Yeah, as far as I know, Joe, I believe it is his favourite circuit, yeah. I mean, if it's his favourite of the original Gran Turismo circuits anyway, I don't know if it's like his favourite overall. I don't know anybody who'd choose this over, as you said, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, the Circuit de la Sarthe, Spa-Francorchamps, Mount Panorama, Indianapolis, Circuit of the Americas, Interlagos. You know, I don't know anyone who'd choose Deep Forest over all of those tracks, but in terms of like the original circuits, I believe this is Kaz's favourite, and that's why he made so many changes to keep it in the series. It's one of the few tracks that's been very consistent, along with Trial Mountain actually. Both Trial Mountain and Deep Forest are featured in more games than any other, I believe. I think closely followed by the High Speed Ring. So my favourite original circuit is actually from the very, very first Gran Turismo. The original version of Special State Rouge 11. That's my favourite Gran Turismo original circuit. But you can only drive it properly in GT1. It came back slightly in GT3, but was modified and wasn't as much fun to drive. Wasn't as challenging. I used to love the 30-lap endurance race on Gran Turismo 1 at Special Stage Route 11. I even started doing challenges back in the day, like taking an old car like a Nissan Sileti, racing, modifying it and seeing if I could win the race with that. Loads of fun. So, is he going to finish 11 seconds behind? Yeah, that's okay. That's pace. We're fine with that. That's 5 races in the can. Do we have any more left in the championship? I'm not sure. Yep, there we are. That's the end of the tournament. And the massive 30,000 credits. So the question is, what's our prize car going to be? Oh, for fuck's sake. Why? Why? I've already got this car. This is the car, for those of you who remember, where I tried to take it up the hill at the very first part of Laguna Seca and couldn't. It was impossible to get over hills. It's that slow. It's that slow. Now, before we do anything, I want to quickly... Right, we're on day 369. I don't know if this is going to work or not. But... basically, recently, I watched a video. It was a video by Matt J, who's a Gran Turismo streamer and video content creator on YouTube. Now, I want to show something off, potentially. I've never tried this on this system, so I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. Now, why have I gone back to here? I've already won it. Well, I'm going to clear all my cars here for a reason. It won't affect my win-loss ratio or anything like that. So, I'm going to see if this works. Do you hear that noise? One more time. So, you heard the noise there that sounded like something happened, okay? Watch this. I've deliberately gone to one I've already done, because if I quit this race, ladies and gentlemen, 18 years after release, cheat codes were found for this game. Check it out. You can win a race without even taking part, and including the prize car. The reason I went to that track is because I've already beaten it. I'm not going to do it, but those cheat codes are saying Matt J did a video with all the codes on it, and it came courtesy of a modder who'd done a mod for Gran Turismo 5, and while farming data found cheat codes. So unbelievably, I'm not going to do it for the rest of the string, because that'd be really, really cheap. I need prize cards, let's just go and get one. That'd be a very cheap thing to do. But if you're one of those people who is not happy with certain races and you don't want to do them, you can simply do that. Now the caveat for this cheat is very important. If you notice, we've got a day count of 372 now. You need to have clocked at least 366 days in game. They will not work before that number. I don't know why, but that's why they're there. Now, speaking of days, a year has passed. And that's got me thinking. I wonder if Because if they're available, I might need to show off another cheat code. I know this is a prize cars only run. There's a reason I've come here. But it doesn't look like it's going to be in here. They might not have materialised, or I might have missed the window. Basically, there's some secret cars you can buy. And they're pretty awesome, but they're very expensive. Yeah, I think I missed the window. Never mind, don't matter. Not important. So yes, that's one way to beat this game. Cheat. Who says you have to play fair? Not me. Ah, you must complete all races to professional. And that's right, I was indeed looking for those cars. That's exactly the cars I was looking for. You are not wrong, Joe. That's exactly the cars I wanted. I wanted those cars. But unfortunately, it ain't gonna happen. You need a boxer car for those. I've not got any of those. Right, in that case then, let's go back to the Europa events. I mean, I could do the... Yeah, it's a Euro Hot Hatch League, so you need like a hot hatchback. That could be kind of fun, actually. Have I got any hot hatchbacks? Ah, so I'm a year too early. That explains it. I'm a year early. That explains why I'm missing them. Ooh. I wonder. This is the issue when you reach a point where getting the cars is actually much trickier. So what I might do, I might equip this again. But see if I can get any other prize cars from in the special conditions in the road races. It's like, I mean, if you want to cheat, it's up to you. I mean, I'd say, you know, it's all about having fun at the end of the day. You play games your own way. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Go on, now let's take on the Costa di Amalfi in a racing Le Mans car. I'm going to take a Le Mans car around the Costa di Amalfi. But before I do it, I'm going to change my tyres. Because there's no restrictions here. And I don't want sports tyres on this car. Especially sports hards. I want racing tyres. I want proper tyres. Oh dear, it's a Mitsubishi Evo versus a Jaguar Le Mans car. This should be an absolute destruction. I should absolutely cane him. There we go, see you later mate, goodbye. Basically, I'm trying to hunt cars I can use in other events, and oh wow. Okay, yeah, this is totally not what this car's designed for in terms of grip, but my god is this fun to drive. These people taking flash photography, I do apologise about that people, I can't do anything about that. They're simulating the rally event and flash unfortunately I can't get rid of. So if you are someone who is affected by flashing lights, I might recommend that you don't watch this race. This is an absolute joy to drive on this circuit. And I'm also avoiding wall riding this time. You might have noticed that. I normally wall ride the way to Bliss round here, but not today. I'm doing it properly. Now, I'm going to have fun getting this around the final two hairpins. Oh, I had so much grip I turned into the wall too fast. I had so much grip I turned in and hit the wall. So now we're going to have a permanent penalty, people. I am Esteban Ocon. I want constant penalties. Oh, I was just about able to get that around the corner then. Oh, Oh, turning circle of the moon, but we got away with it. Oh, another 5-second penalty, for God's sake. Actually, no. For my sake. God's got nothing to do with it. I'm an SMT fan. I can't be doing anything in the name of God. Not unless I decide to be a law route person. And I'm not law, I'm chaos. You've seen my streams. My streams are always chaotic. So it's kind of impressive how they had all these 3D models of the, like, you know, the spectators and everything else back in 2004 on the PS2. Bit of a technical marvel in many ways, this game. Brief sound of the air horns there, but they're absolutely nowhere near me. They say cheaters never prosper, huh? Tell that to Red Bull. They cheated last season in the budget cap and they're absolutely destroying everybody in this season in F1, mate. Sorry about that, RS the Jack. Cheaters never prosper. Look at Premier League football clubs cheating the tax system in order to get higher paid players for them. Look at bleeding Saracens in the rugby union. They cheated by blowing the salary cap forever, and they're going to be champions again this season. Oh, world's full of bloody cheaters prospering. Oh, look at Lance Armstrong. Is it Lance Armstrong I'm thinking of? The former Tour de France winner, stripped of all his titles after admitting doping after 10 years on. Unfortunately, when it comes to sports, mate, cheats always seem to prosper. They always dress it up as pushing the rule book or open to interpretation. Whereas I simply call it cheating. And to be fair, I've done a few things on stream that are cheating as well. Save state sure and Persona 3. Yep, see, that's where my turning circle let me down. But it doesn't matter because we're still going to win. Yeah, I suppose that's true actually, Queen. Yeah, it's evening the odds against cheating AI. Ones who I always seem to get the hits from the hammer moves and Mudo spells. As you say though as well, Arista Jack, yeah, there's quite a lot of people who've cheated a game in sports and it's rife in certain ones. A lot of the games like Counter-Strike and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, for example, they've massively suffered from it. They've had all kinds of stuff happen. But yeah, so you saw me do the cheat earlier to essentially get basically a free victory in a race. But you can actually do it where you get gold in your license tests and 10 million credits. So the RSC Raid Rally Car grind is over as long as you do the first year of the game. So you've only done one game that you've got 100% in, Alistair Jack. I mean, to be fair, 100% in a game often involves doing things that no one except obsessive fans will do. It's like in Final Fantasy VII, there was one forum that considered a perfect save file having every single item in the game, and some of the things you had to do to get every item in the game was silly, like deliberately lose battles, and I'm not going to deliberately lose a battle. Oh, sorry mate. Never mind, did you get a penalty for that? No, you didn't. See, the AI doesn't get a penalty for crashing, does it? But it doesn't matter, because I managed to keep... Oh, wow, okay. All I saw then was Sky C, people. That wasn't exactly the right way to drive, was it? Hey, Simpsons Hit and Run, in other words, Crazy Taxi, Alistair Jack. That's the game that Sega made a lot of money out of Fox on. Because they had the proved in court that they basically had Crazy Taxi stolen. Although, from what I understand, Simpsons Hit and Run's actually a very good game. Maybe I should play that one day. I love that view of the coast down there. It's a bit low res, but it's still awesome that they got that view in the game. Oh, that was very early into the wall on a penalty then. Don't know how I stopped that. I cut the corner a bit too much then. I'm not sure I should play a game in a drunk mode on stream, Alistair Jack. Years ago, I actually had an idea for a series on YouTube, but I quietly canned it after getting advice from people. I was going to call the stream series Road to Ruin, where I played racing games absolutely piss drunk. And then people were saying, no, because you're advocating really bad behaviours from people on the roads. And I thought about it, and I thought, actually, it's probably not a good idea. It's like, you know, drunk streaming is never a good advice anyway. It's a very bad idea to stream while absolutely wasted. Yes, Fiona cheating in the Olympics. Happened many, many times. There was a very famous American sprinter, I can't remember what his name was. Oh, it's going to really annoy me, back in the 80s, who had literally all their titles stripped of them because they were found to have been using steroids. Nope. I think I misjudged my braking point then, people. I think I braked a little bit too late. I don't know about you guys. I say I 100%ed the original Resident Evil Director's Cut. I 100%ed Resident Evil 2 on the original PS1. A Resident Evil, 100%ed Resident Evil Code Veronica X on the PS4. I've 100%ed Resident Evil 2 Remake on the PS5 and the PS4. I'm 100% in Final Fantasy 7, 100% in Breath of Fire 3, 100% in Wild Arms, did that live on stream. Trying to think of it. I've done quite a few games to 100%. Why isn't this the right car I should use, Fiona? Why? Why is this not the right car? I'd love to hear your explanation as to what makes it not the right car to use. I thought Hit and Run was considered more like Crazy Taxi rather than like GTA. And bizarrely, even though I got a penalty, I might still set a faster lap time. I somehow set a faster lap time even with a 5-second penalty. How did I do that? Well, okay, yeah, sometimes I get penalties, but look at how far I've come ahead. I've absolutely destroyed it. My pace was so high that even with the penalties I was able to win. So, now that car's fine. And again, the mistakes were mine. It was because of my driving. It wasn't because of the car. I overestimated where I should be braking. I got the braking point wrong. The car did nothing wrong. The car was perfect. It was my driving. My driving was the problem. Crazy Taxi on the PS2, Joe. Wrong, my friend. Crazy Taxi on the Sega Dreamcast. That's the car that we should remember. Oh, nice. Subaru Impreza rally car. Ah! This might be cheating. Good point, Queen. Yes, I did play Crazy Taxi when I beat... What game was it? I was playing a game on the Dreamcast and I beat it. So I decided to put that in instead. Dead or Alive 2. That was it. It was Dead or Alive 2. After I played through Dead or Alive 2 for about an hour and a half, I went and played Crazy Taxi. So on my stream for Dead or Alive 2, halfway through it, it cuts to that instead. Now I've had a thought here. Can I use this Scooby Impreza to win the actual Subaru Manufacturers Tournament? I wonder. I might need to change the tyres for it. Yeah, there's no restrictions, but I'm going to need to get some new tyres. In terms of best version, Alistair Jack, the best version is actually, ironically, the Sega Dreamcast one. The reason for that is that the Sega Dreamcast version was basically based on the arcade known as the Naomi New Arcade Operator Model Interface, and the Sega Dreamcast essentially was a slimmed down version of that board. It was incredibly good, so it was able to properly simulate the arcade. It also helps the Sega Dreamcast, Alistair Jack. If you had the right setup like I do, you could run it in VGA mode, which had massively improved visuals compared to anything on the GameCube or on the PS2. They're not called Grand Prix, no, Fiona, because they say they don't really, because Grand Prix is French for Grand Prize, and in Gran Turismo they don't have them as their names. I don't believe. Oh, it's a tournament. Oh, it's a 75,000 credits one. Interesting. Okay, let's give it a try. In fact, if that's the case, I'm going to quickly change my tyres. I think I've got hard tyres on, if I'm not mistaken. No, I've got super hard. Not good enough. I definitely don't want super tyres. Yes, you're right, Joe. The Richard Burns Impreza. Yeah, R.I.P. to Richard Burns. Awesome driver. Meanwhile, Naomi checking in saying, hello, Mr. Winner. Mr. Winner. You flatter me, Naomi, you flatter me. Mr. Cheater, maybe, but not Mr. Winner. Right, let's see how good the prototype Impreza is compared to the others. We've got 5 laps of Tsukuba. And I'm driving a rally prepared version of this, so it should be pretty fast. I say it should be, but so far I'm not closing the gap. The stars of the Pleiades. And as my car is rally prepared, I can go off-road. I know what my problem is. My car's got turbo lag. I was wondering who wasn't catching up. It's the turbo lag. Oh, that's a good question, Joe. Do I prefer the Evo or the Impreza? I think from classic cars, I'd probably say the Evo 4 is probably my favourite. I think the Impreza's kept its heritage better though. The modern Evos like the Evo 10 and that weren't that great. Whereas like the Evo 4 and the Evo 5 were absolutely beautiful to drive. A lot of fun. And what they say the Scoobies were fantastic though. The Scoobies were brilliant. I will say though, the Scooby Imprezas handle like they're on rails. Of course, I'm that guy. When it came to playing Colin McRae Rally on the PS1, the car that I drove was the Ford Escort RS Rally. The Ford Escort RS Cosworth, that was the one I drove. This will be quite a long tournament, this. We've got 5 laps, so quite a long one. The grip through that corner then was immense. We're no doubt going to unlock another Subaru Impreza from this. Or maybe a Subaru... you know, actually no. I'm calling it now. We're going to unlock something rubbish. I've already unlocked one of those 1886 cars again. Because one apparently isn't enough. I'm glad that I achieved the British GT tournament now for that. That was not a good prize. This circuit's quite a fun little circuit to drive. It's just that it's obviously not really designed as a racing circuit. It's more of a testing circuit. I used to make that mistake all the time on stream when I first started doing this, Naomi. Had it set to top chat rather than live chat. And I get messages from people going, why aren't you reading my messages? And I'm like, what messages are you on about? And then finally I click live chat and there'll be like 18 messages I've missed. I don't know why they have that feature. It should always be a live chat. It makes no sense for you to have like random ones on there. Of course, the thing that I don't understand is super chats. It's not something I have. I don't qualify for them, but I don't understand why they're even a thing. You pay money so that your message stays on screen longer and might get read by the host. That's just literally giving money for nothing to the streamer. And is open to massive exploitation. I don't know why they do it. It's like, pay me $5 and your reward is I'll read your message out. That's financial domination in my opinion. No, not on. And I probably burned up any right I'll ever have to get those kind of monetizations now by saying that, but I'm speaking the truth. I don't think they're right. It's especially bad if you take advantage of, like, you know, subsects of people who want the attention. And you just keep them, like, literally throwing money at you. It's not on, in my opinion. So that's race 1. So race 1 is now in the can. Oh, it's even worse on Twitch. Oh, you're not wrong on that one, Naomi, actually. I've heard. When I was on... I used to stream on Twitch. I've still got a channel I could stream on there if I wanted to. But I've moved away from Twitch for 2 reasons. The first reason was archiving of old recordings was an absolute nightmare. The second reason is I saw that happening where people were being encouraged, like, you know, spend money to cheer the presenter. And the problem is that the actual payouts for the streamers on those are terrible. Absolutely dreadful. And it's designed to encourage people to be as clickbaity as possible in order to be able to get on there. I just find it like, it's like literal, you're literally told to treat it like a job. And while there are those people who want to chase streams and be streamers forever, I get that. But, no, it's not cool. As for a racing suit, I'm not technically wearing a racing suit, Fiona, no. I'm actually wearing a motocross hoodie. Well, motocross shirt, even. I was randomly on a day out once with a friend in Sheffield. I was in, like, a vintage clothes shop, one of those thrift stores. And I just happened to notice it, and I thought, that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I'm trying it on. Fit me like a glove, so I thought, yeah, I'll wear that. So it's actually designed to ride motocross bikes. But it's just really comfy. Actual full racing suit is incredibly expensive. They are very, very expensive gear. But there's a very good reason for it. Racing suits are designed to resist fire for like 10 to 20 seconds. As Roman Grosjean, formerly of Haas F1, will tell you, it's something you need. Check out the guys in the boat, by the way. I'll just pause the screen. Can anyone see that right in the middle? Look at those guys chilling in the middle of the lake. Now this is the proper version of Trial Mountain. No slow chicanes here, a simple flick and a twitch. Beautiful. So much more fun to drive. I recently saw a video about why they remade all the tracks. And one of the creators, I can't remember what the name was, came up with an absolutely brilliant point. If you drive the original Trial Mountain like I'm driving now, in a low-level car, like a Mazda MX-5 or a Toyota A86 Sprinter Trueno, you can get around it in like 1 minute 59, maybe 2:01. If you drive the modern one with the chicanes, it takes something daft like 2 minutes 35 seconds. It's just so boring. Very grippy car, this. It's got a lot of grip. It'll chew through its tyres as you corner so flat, but it's fun to drive, and that's what matters most. Yep, this is looking pretty good for an easy victory by the looks of it. As we keep on cornering flat and fast around Trial Mountain. Clip the inside apex best we can, smash into the wall, rip our door mirror off, right off the chassis, end the race. This is giving me a thought. There might be other like manufacturer-only tournaments I can race just to get some more. I want to get far enough so I can get one of the endurance races unlocked. I don't know if I'll be able to do any of the endurance races tonight. I might be able to do one, depending on how quickly I unlock them. Naomi, weight loss is amazing. Are you on a journey to do that at the moment? I've taken up my hiking again and I've managed to do a lot of distance. Still feel a bit too tubby though, which is annoying. Unless you mean in the car, of course, knocking the mirror off and losing some weight, in which case, yes, that too. Years ago in the British Touring Car Championship, a driver called Gordon Shedden was driving a race and his front wing was flapping dangerously, and the stewards were about to hold out a flag with like an orange dot in it, which is basically come in and repair your car. And he knew this was coming, so he deliberately drove off track and hit a bollard to dislodge the broken part of the wing. But because of that, his car was suddenly compliant again. And he had said afterwards, he said, I did it deliberately, but I had a very big streak in my trousers because I thought I'd overcooked it and was about to write my car off. But that actually happened. I think it was either Alton Park or Knock Hill. I'm not sure which one it was. Instant start there, pretty good. Blast past all the 90s Scoobies and into the lead. So we've got 2 laps of the full Suzuka circuit ahead of us. Get comfortable, people, this might take a while. That's awesome, Naomi. Well played to you. That's fantastic. As I say, I mean, it's all about keeping the journey going, keeping the journey alive. That's the big difference maker when it comes to it. As I say, I used to be much heavier than I am. There's an old video which for some stupid reason comes up as a short, even though we uploaded it in 2014 before they were even a thing. And it's like my reaction to a wrestling event, and you can see the difference in my face. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, Mr. Fondue, it's feeling a bit like the Red Bull approach. I agree. I mean, I'm not trying to absolutely demolish the opposition, but it just seems that it said no restrictions, so I'll put like the mid upgrades in. Nope. Well, you see, Joe, you talk about Nico Rosberg scraping the paint off his helmet to make it lighter. There's none worse for that than Michael Schumacher. When he was at the height of his dominance in the late 90s, early 2000s, back then, the drivers weren't weighed as often. They were literally weighed at the end of the season. So for the final Grand Prix, he'd always turn up with a helmet that was made from a much heavier material, and he'd drink copious amounts of water. So that when he went to be weighed, it was something like 10 kilos heavier than he normally was, and that meant that the team had 10 kilos of extra weight loss to play around with ballast into next year and make the cars more dominant. And Patrick Head of the Williams team caught onto it, and he basically calculated it and said to the stewards, you're giving them anywhere between a quarter of a second and half a second a lap in advantage. We need to make our weighings much more common and much more random to catch cheaters. And then when they found that that wasn't doing enough to stamp it out, they brought it in at every race. So that is actually the reason why drivers are weighed every Grand Prix. It's purely so they can stop them cheating by taking heavier gear or overindulging on things to then have extra weight to play around in the design of the cars. I think it was the former British TV commentator, what was his name? Ben Edwards, I think. He actually picked up one of the helmets once at Interlagos, and he said it was one of the heaviest things he's ever held. He knew full well it was a dodgy helmet on that day. And I also remember there was a commentator from Le Mans, can't remember what the name was, And they said that what they would do is at the end of the race, they'd actually lock the drivers into a room and not let them out for 2 hours. And the ones who came out having failed to hold it in would get penalties. A bit too draconian a punishment, that, when you think about it. There's a bit of a human rights boundary there, it has to be said. See, I only found out about jogs. Like, I used to start when they started covering the practice sessions, when there was nothing going on track, they'd start talking about things like this or regulation changes, and it was always quite interesting to see where they came from. And that's true, actually. Yes, the cleaners, they don't deserve to deal with that. You're not wrong. I used to be a store janitor, and that was one of the things my pet hates, being expected to deal with random bodily fluids. Yes, that was back in the dark days. Nearly 20 years ago when I was at university. One of my jobs to top up my student loan was that. It was horrible. It's where I also did the worst job in my life. Where I had to deep clean rotisserie ovens every day. If you've ever been into a rotisserie, you know how much meat goes around and how much fat drips off. Until you've had to pull those drip trays out and empty them and scrub them, do you realise how horrible they are. That's a job I never ever want to do again. And it's nothing to do with my veganism either. Interesting stories of working at stores. I mean, working in a store is always interesting because some of the things that happen, you never know. In the world of retail, you never know what's going to happen next. If you work in any form of retail, whether you're a store worker or a janitor or whatever, you get all kinds of stuff happen. I remember once having an argument with a Karen because she came up to me and was like, "What are your opening hours on Boxing Day?" And I said, "There are no opening hours. We close on Christmas Eve and we're not open until the 27th. "Yes, you are." "I work here, madam." "No, we're not. We're not allowed to by law. Our store's too big." "You're going to be open and I'm going to be here. What time are you opening?" "I assure you, you can come here, but I'm not going to be here and the store is going to be closed, so you won't be able to get in." "That's not good enough. Get your manager." "Okay, that's fine." Pull out my portable phone because I needed one in case people call me to another end of the store because there's been an incident. Get the manager and say, "Yeah, I've got a customer who wishes to discuss our opening hours for Boxing Day. I've tried to help them by advising what they are not, but they won't listen to me. They want to talk to you." "Where are you?" "Aisle 14, wait there, I'll be over in 5 minutes. My manager was done before it even came to the point of being done. But being able to walk away and say, "I need to go and start doing the cleaning in the back warehouse," as in, "I'm getting out of here, you're on your own, Captain," was one of the few perks of that job. I also remember the time that I was asked to clean up an incident that happened in the toilets. I go into the toilets and what do I find? I find a cocaine kit, complete with hypodermic needles. I instantly shut it down, wrote a random sign saying "Biohazard do not enter," and called the cops. I was not touching that. Not even close. There are a few things in this world I will not touch, but used hypodermic needles are one of them. I'm not catching hepatitis or meningitis or HIV or God knows what else. No thank you. Agree completely, Avian? That's a nope. A hard nope. So, I mean, I could easily go on to r/tales from retail and write, like, novel-length essays about things that have happened in stores. Working in retail is, in many ways, it's almost like a punishment for a crime, because a lot of the time you get people who are assholes for absolutely no reason. Just because you've got a name badge and you wear a uniform, that makes you fair game to be abused, whether it's racial, whether it's gender, whether it's sexual, whatever. People think they have a right to treat you like absolute dog shit. And the answer to that is no. No, you don't. You can be upset at something, you can be unhappy, but these people are human beings. Treat them like it. I once had, oddly enough, an alternate version of this when I was in Japan, of all places. I was in Japan in 2014, and I was there in February, because normally it's quite a bit warmer than over here in the UK, but it's still not that warm. And I was over there for a concert tour, and everything was going fine, no problem at all. But the night before I was due to go back to England, very, very heavy snow was forecast, and my friends were contacting me who live in Japan and said, dude, don't go out tonight, go home, make sure you're safe, get all your gear. Believe me, you've got to make sure you're ready for tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen. And I'm used to this, I'm thinking, yeah, whatever. I woke up the day after, no, they were serious, it was a very, very bad snowstorm indeed. It was deep blizzard. And in Japan, their trains run for almost every reason. They didn't run this day. And basically, have the riding in a taxi with 3 other foreigners to the airport for 2.5 hours. Major props to the cab driver for getting us there, by the way. It was a hell of a journey. We get to the airport and flights are being cancelled left, right and centre. And so the airlines are giving food vouchers for people to get some nush, as per the Civil Aviation Authority rules, which is great, no problem at all. Problem being that because there was that many flights being cancelled and that many vouchers and that many people who weren't normally going to be eating there because they were normally going through security, a lot of the places ran out, which is understandable because like no one can go anywhere, so no one can do anything about it. And I went to one place and I was unlucky enough, they ran out, fair enough. And this random woman suddenly started kicking off, oh, this effing country are effing useless, they don't know what they're doing, it was obvious this was happening. And I just replied to her, I went, look, these people have been here for about 12 hours today, they worked very hard, and more importantly, so Japan was hit by its heaviest snowstorm for 25 years last night. They're not going to have supplies in reserve for that. Be grateful that it's not something like a 9.5 Richter scale earthquake. It's annoying, it's frustrating, but it's not these people's fault. Leave them alone. And I got a nice round of applause, and there was this like Swiss guy with a black credit card going, come to the bar with me, mate, I'm buying you a drink. I'm like, well, the alcohol's still going, so that's fine by me. Why not the vodkas, mate? I'm here all night. Downside to that, I slept on the terminal at 4 o'clock in the morning with a flight at 6 a.m. That was interesting, to say the least. Good times. Best part about that, of course, is when I'm in the bar with these like 3 guys who've all got black company credit cards. So, what business are you in then? I'm dressed in like camo trousers and a t-shirt. I'm like, performing arts, I guess. Oh, well, what do you do? I work as a sound engineer for a theatre company. I don't. I really don't. But luckily for them, luckily for me, I'd done quite a few gigs, so I knew the kind of stories and gigs that I kept them quiet with that for the night. It was total bollocks, it was total bullshit, but they were paying for the vodka, and I was there all night, so I didn't care. That makes me sound like a massive narcissist, and probably correct, but needless to say, it was good times. Oh, braking perfect for the corkscrew then. Absolutely spot on. This is one of the longer manufacturer exclusive tournaments I've seen. This is very long. So this is what the modern Gran Turismo games are missing. Actual tournaments, actual championships. So I've seen quite a few longer chats in the box, so I'm going to wait till I finish the race before taking a look at those. I'm not being rude. Yes, the Richard Burns prototype and Prezzo are doing me a very good job here in this race. So it's a shame that this car doesn't sound like it's got much power out of the corners. It has that really laggy engine. But I think that's the turbo lag. I think that's the problem. Yeah, a full second faster. Awesome. Alright, so Avian, so yeah, say you took a taxi from downtown to the airport and you had like your driver kicking up at all the evils in the world. Government, taxis, all that kind of stuff. And then at this point, as your mom's holding your hand tight, he starts talking about the banks and how they're the most evil thing in the world. Something that they work for. There's nothing worse than that moment where you're literally ranting and ranting and ranting, and the subject is there in the car and they're just going, keep digging your own grave, mate. Keep digging your own grave. Right. Is that the final race? 5 races. Yes, it is. Excellent. Right, so what's our prize car from the Subaru going to be? Is it going to be another Impreza rally car? I wonder. Let's have a look. Let's see what we get. We've already used a rally car, so I might end up having a second one here, unless it's something else. Oh, it's the Subaru Impreza Super Touring car. Oh, okay. They got like an STC. I didn't even know they made one of those. If it's a touring car, that means it's going to be designed for being on the road rather than in the rally. That's going to... Huh? I've got a second one? Wait, what? What? Oh, it's because I got a completion rate of 25%. That confused me for a second then. I'm like, why have I won an Audi in a Subaru tournament? Now I know why. So we can now go and enter the endurance events. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it tonight because I say I'm in the office tomorrow, so I don't think that's going to happen. But out of curiosity, yeah, we have the Grand Valley 300 kilometers, the Laguna Seca 200 miles, the Roadster 4-hour endurance, the Tokyo R246 300 kilometers, the Super Speedway 150 miles, the Nürburgring 24-hour endurance, the Nürburgring 4-hour, the Suzuka 1000 kilometers, the Motegi 8 hours, the Scuba 9 hours of Scuba, oh my god, the Ski de la Sarthe 24 hours 1, and the Ski de la Sarthe 24 hours 2. Jeez. The Fuji 1000, Infineon World Sports, and El Capitan's 200 miles, and finally the New York 200 miles. I don't really know if there's any of those that I can really complete tonight. They're probably a bit too long. I mean, I'd love to do the Tokyo 246. I would love to do it. Because it's such a good race, that one. But I don't know how many laps it is. I've no idea how many laps that one is. I can't do the extreme events. And then the professional events. Now, the ones I'm missing is this Boxer Spirit one. But I was trying to do it by prize cars only, and I don't think I've got any cars. Oh! Oh! This qualifies. I just need standard or sports tyres. Oh, thank you very much. The Scooby applies. I don't think the Scooby would apply. Right, I guess the sports hards on. That should be enough. 60 laps. Yeah, that's not going to be... I've not got enough time. That'll be about half an hour too long, unfortunately. But that's one race we might do on the next stream, so I quite like to do it. The Tokyo race is a good race. I like that one. 60 laps is easy, Fiona. It's not hard at all. 60 laps is easy. Right, is this a tournament? No, it's just 3 races at random. We've got Hong Kong, Infineon, and Deep Forest. Excellent. Let's go to Hong Kong then. So, here's a question for you all. If I redo the charity streams later on this year, would any of you want to even see me attempt to live stream the Nürburgring or the Circuit de la Sarthe 24-hour races? Would any of you want to even see me have a crack at that? Get your answers in the comments. I'll be really interested. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. Gonna have to very quickly go into splash screen mode. I've just seen a little bit of slowdown, so I'm gonna have to quickly change my settings. I'm going to put the rendering back to... I'm going to drop it to 1080p. Sorry about that, guys. I heard the slowdown when we were doing the build-up. I might do that as a charity stream then. Do one of the streams. The question is, which track will we do? In fact, that'd be the poll, actually. For the 24 hours race, what are we doing? Are we doing the Nürburgring, the modern day Le Mans, or the classic Le Mans? That's what we should do. That'll be the poll for it. I'll have to see. I'll have to talk to my charity reps about arranging it and schedule it for the future. Right, well, so far, I'm not catching these guys up. That's a problem. But the good thing is, they're all bunched together, and they've just crashed. They've literally just crashed, and I had to take evasive action. I had to take evasive action then, because they all forced each other off the road. That's insane. It doesn't hold on sports tyres, and this car does not like sports tyres. Yeah, the brake, it doesn't stop very well. That's the problem. Good news is it rides bumps very well, and that CTF Art Rough Yellowbird there is spinning like anything. Oh, which car? That's a good point, actually, Joe. Yeah, that could be a double pole. That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. Very extreme tactics. Very dirty tactics too, but it did the job for him, I suppose. This is going to be a tough race, actually. I'm quite liking it. It's forcing me to think about my lines more. Yes, Roof. The way to get Porsche in this game without paying a license to EA. That's one way to get around the corner. Use the car as a brake. Again, a lot of it's going to come down to prize cars. I'm going to have to unlock some prize cars that are good enough for it. That's the other issue. It's unlocking the prize cars. If I can manage that, then we're sorted. The same. My rules for that would be that I can only like do eating and drinking during the pit stops, and I'd have to. It'd be a difficult one because I'd have to pop away to use the bathroom because I wouldn't be able to change drivers like in real Le Mans. So it'd be slightly over 24 hours. But to be fair, last time I did a 24-hour stream, we went 15 minutes into overtime, didn't we, people? When it turned out I got to the end of the game, I beat a game live in one sitting, one take. That was fun, actually. Playing Crisis Core on the original PSP to completion in one stream. I still remember fighting the second to last boss and just went at one point. I've no idea how much damage I've done to this boss. Next attack killed it. I'm like, enough. I've done enough damage. That's fine. Let's go. Unfortunately, you can't watch the replay of that stream because YouTube has a very annoying feature, which is if your stream's more than 12 hours long, we actually won't record the stream. So I'd have to actually stop briefly and then restart it again. Say, Joe, I'm not the expert on Hong Kong, but Fiona is, so Fee, over to you. Is this similar to Hong Kong from your experiences? No, you can stream, Fiona. I actually streamed for 24 hours. But what I'm saying is that if your stream goes longer than 12 hours, YouTube won't record it. So even though I streamed for 24 hours and 15 minutes, the stream is lost. It's lost media. My 24-hour charity stream is actually lost media. And you don't have to save it, Queen. All you have to do is literally just like stop the stream and then immediately restart it. All I'd do is pause the stream at 8 hours. That's the way I'd do it. 8 hours, pause, brief restart, carry on. That's all I'd do. And I'd do it as a playlist. Like 24 hours of whatever kind of thing. Of course, the problem with those 24-hour races is really very simple. I don't think it has day to night transitions, so you don't actually have like you're always racing in the daylight, so it's a really strange one. It's a massive shame because there's so many things that happened in that stream, and unfortunately I can never share them again. And no worries, Queen, if you go get yourself off, go and get yourself some Easter dinner. That's fantastic. Enjoy it and have a good night, and I'll catch you on the next stream. Yes. One part of it we will not speak of, Avian. You're quite correct. Oh, that's cool. You got friends who've like live in Hong Kong, who've got jobs overseas. That's what I mean. I wish I could have gone to that wedding I was invited to in Hong Kong. It would have been awesome, but unfortunately the timing of it was just not possible. Massive shame. I felt really bad. Don't get me wrong. The person who invited me understood, but at the same time I felt really quite bad. It would have been a nice experience. Right, actually, before we carry on, just going to very briefly pop back to the splash screen because I need to change the quality back up. Basically, the Hong Kong level, it needs to be at the level it's at. But now we're switching back to full upscale mode. Yeah, we've got the Pro Drive style, so there's a lot more Scoobies. In fact, there's 5 Scoobies in one roof. So this should be a little easier, but not easy. Say, It seems like certain tracks like Hong Kong and George Paris, there's just so much detail in them. The way I'm playing the game can't handle it, can't run them. So I can't run them in full 4K anyway. Oh, he's off the track. You see, that's something you don't see very often in the modern racing games. They normally have AI that's pre-programmed to a specific route. Seeing the AI making mistakes is incredible. See there again, another one that's gone off track, and he's going to go off track again because I pushed him off. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I've got a much better setup in my scuba. It was a good idea to enter that rally event, then, wasn't it? I've also now got an Audi, which means I can enter into the German Championship. I just realised there's a German races in the European events, which might get me a decent car. On the brakes, nice and early. Excellent, we're going alright so far. Yep, so we're motoring on towards another victory here, which is great. At least I hope so. It's a good car to fling around this, actually. It's got quite a nice... Someone obviously went off track here, because they weren't me, and all those cones have gone. And now the roof is in second place, the roof Yellowbird. So again, it's nice to see mistakes being made by the AI. I approve of that. It's fantastic. So here we go. Yep, nice and smooth. It's interesting, we're seeing quite a lot of the same tracks tonight. Unfortunately, the rotation has took us into the same circuits, which is a bit annoying, but at the same time, it's good to see a bit of progress in the way the lap times are going for it. Yeah, excellent. A little bit of sideways drift there, that's not so much fun. And we're about to cross the line. And that is that. Excellent. Well, Fiona, this track is a real-world race circuit that's used in a lot of series, like the American Le Mans series. It's used in the American stock car racing. It's called Infineon, more commonly referred to as Sears Point. It's a track in Sonoma in America, and it's an actual purpose-built race circuit. Hong Kong obviously is a city circuit, so it's kind of like in Formula 1. If you take a circuit like, say, Silverstone in the UK or Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, they're purpose-built racetracks, and while they might have green fields and forests around them, that's really all there is to it. Whereas if you then take the likes of the race at Monte Carlo in Monaco, or the race in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, or the race in Baku in Azerbaijan, where they're actually on the city streets, they've got a lot more architecture and things in the background. It's the difference between street circuits and purpose-built race circuits. So Hong Kong's got a lot more going for it because it's night set and you've got the actual big buildings in the area. Much like the Georges V. Paris level that we played on the previous stream in France, where we had like the Arc de Triomphe, we had the... What's the cathedral called? The Notre Dame Cathedral. We had all that in there as well. So it's just different levels, different viewpoints, really. Oh, 60 points for this one. This is going to be a hard race to win. It's given me 60 ace-back points. We're up against quite a lot of roof Porsches. So a lot of the race circuits in this game are very realistic. Like, this is Deep Forest, and it's literally a forest. This is kind of similar in many ways to what's now known as the Red Bull Ring, but was known as the A1 Ring in Styria, Austria. It's the very same place, very same kind of style. Oh, it's a drag race, and I'm losing. Why did you both jam on the brakes that early? That was brake testing and a half. You mean your Porsche cockster? Get out of here. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Infineon, it's grass, sand, and that's about it. And there's a Subaru Legacy. Decent car, but it's not as good as my WRX and Impreza. Although it doesn't help when I go off circuit. That's not a fast way to go around corners. Right, here's where I get eaten for breakfast, and there's nothing I can do about it. That roof yellowbird is going to eat me alive. A little bit of sideways drifting there. Not the fastest way around the corner, but it did the job. Yeah, mowing the grass. I'd say it's a nice circuit to drive in Infineon. It's just not very nice to look at. It's kind of a bit dull. Ironically, a track that's not that great to drive, but is brilliant to look at, is the Red Bull Ring in Austria. It's actually a very tedious track to drive. I find it very boring. The races there get chaotic, but as a driver myself, I don't like it. But in terms of visual quality, it's absolutely stunning. Oh, no, that's understeer. That was torturous understeer. That was horrific understeer, that then. Yeah, I mean the thing is, arcade tracks like those in Mario Kart, Fiona, they're not real. So because they're not real, you can do a lot more with them. It's like if you go and play the Outrun arcade games. You do stuff in them that would just not be realistic. In Arcade Club in Leeds, they've got an arcade cabinet called Scud Race. And it has real-life licensed cars. Porsche 911's in there, the Ferrari F40's in there, the Dodge Viper's in there. the McLaren F1s in there. And they race like in underground aquatic aquarium tunnels, and they have like pirate ships swinging over the centre of the track. So while the cars are real cars, they're in the least realistic setting in the world, and they're a lot of fun. But again, this is more a simulation racing game, or as simulation as it can get in the PS2 era. So therefore, the tracks are more realistic in general. It's why we see a lot of like the recovery vehicles simulated, the marshal posts are simulated, the lights are simulated. They're all there for that reason, because to get that level of immersion about racing an actual circuit. Before Gran Turismo, the closest we really got to driving simulator games were the test drive games and certain F1 games, and even they weren't anywhere near it. Yes, Need for Speed 3. Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. Amazing game. I love that game. I used to thrash my cars in 8-lap races against the cops around Atlantica. My favourite circuit. I absolutely adored that. I used to be there in my El Nino going up against a Mercedes CLK GTR being chased by a cop in a Lamborghini Diablo. Amazing times. Absolutely awesome. Aquatica wasn't quite as good because it was like trying to extend the circuit and it didn't have the same magic. Atlantica felt much more like it. Yes, that was fun. And I think that's the end of the tournament. So the question is, what car are we going to get? Oh! Would you believe it? We have a roof Yellowbird. We have a Porsche, people. I am a Porsche owner. I now own a Porsche. Which is useful because there was a German event that I couldn't do anything with. That roof Yellowbird is going to be fine. There it is. The Yellowbird. Beautiful car. Yeah, the Aquatica had the underwater section. That's right, definitely, yeah. I say it's the best looking 911. It's a beauty, isn't it? It's an absolute beauty. First of all, let's get some extra horsepower by changing the oil. So we now have a Porsche, and if I go here into the, there's a tournament, wasn't that one? Nah, I can't do it, can't count there. I didn't think it would. I was like, nah, no way. Up to 1970s, it doesn't, yeah, that's it. Right, it doesn't qualify for that one. Does it qualify for this one? It does. Oh, but look at the cars it'd be up against. The SLR McLaren, the BMW M3. It's a good car, but I don't think it's that good. I wanted it for that, but it's not going to be enough. Right, La Fiesta Italiano is Italian cars only. Have I got any Italian cars that fit? I'm afraid I don't know that one, and I want to be wary of saying it in case anyone thinks I'm saying something else. I'm going to leave that one where it is, Joe. No disrespect here, but I think I'm going to leave that one right where it is. I think I'll leave that one there. There we go. The Audi Quattro. That's a car that's more likely to hold up in that tournament. That's much more like it, the Audi. Ah, okay. Fair enough, that makes sense. Yeah, the SR71, in other words. So we'll do probably a couple more races depending on how much time, depending on how long they are. But first of all, I need to make a change. Oh, I've just realised. If I put racing tyres on this... No, that's not all right. If I put racing tyres on this, I've just realised what I might qualify for. Give me racing tyres. I've just realised there's a tournament this car might qualify for. But first of all, I need to make some changes to it. Oh, I can make it even more powerful. Wow. Go on, then let's spend a little bit of money. But not too much. The classic Porsches do look beautiful. The classic Porsches are stunning. Racing brakes, yeah, we want that. Can't do anything to the engine. Yeah, I need to get a fully customizable transmission. The reason for this is simple. This might qualify for the Supercar Festival. And if it does, that'll pay out a lot of money, but it'll also be very, very hard. Which is why I'm getting a few more upgrades to it. I want to make it competitive. I think I can equip another turbo to it as well to make it ridiculously powerful. So I'm spending quite a bit of cash here, but luckily I can farm money using my methods. So the Quattro, I can either put a stage 3 or a stage 4 in. That puts it up to 835. That puts it up to 952. Wow. Go on, let's go for it. I might need to put some hard tyres on. I might buy some hard tyres. Yeah, we're going big. We're going expensive on this car. I'm upgrading it. Because this might give me a chance in 2 particular events. I'm going to buy a set of hard tyres, but I'm not going to equip them. No, they're super hard. Don't want that. I'm not going to equip them just yet, but I might need to use them. Now the question is, do I do the weight reduction? I'll buy it even though I don't know how to use it. I'll need to research that. That's like ultra fine setup work. Right, let's take the weight out of the car. Let's strip out all the weight. And by doing this, I've probably made the car illegal now, haven't I? Knowing my luck. Or I'm doing all this and then they'll go, yeah, you don't qualify, mate. So, I've just spent nearly 300,000 credits on this car. Looks like I'm going to have to do some grinding of the Toyota, what's it called, RSC Raid. I mean, I could just use the 10 million credits cheap, but why would I want to do that? It's not fair. Right, I want to see if it counts. Is it going to be allowed? Here we go. Production cars only. The answer is no. How about in Europe? Can we use it here? Right. Oh, it requires sports tyres. Okay. With the amount of power I've got in this car, I'm going to need to buy some hard tyres. That's Belgium. I was looking at the wrong flag then. This car is going to drive absolutely awful, but it's going to have a shitload of power. So we're going to see just how out of its depth this car is. Because this car qualifies for the IB races. So let's start with a lap of the Nordschleife. The nearest thing to raw power, A battle between 3 to 400 horsepower German cars. The SLR McLaren does not have 3 to 400 horsepower, and my car certainly doesn't. My car's got 952. My car's got a lot of power. It's showing a 1-point championship, this. Well, if it's Dutch quality, it's on hard sport tyres with 950 horsepower. I don't think this is going to be much fun to drive, but we shall see. Look at that already. I'm pulling alongside. Well, so far, I'm actually finding it quite planted to drive, surprisingly. I'm having to get on the brakes a lot more, but that's okay. I don't mind that. Get out of my way. Oh, it's very bumpy. It's not liking the bumps. Oh, and it's not got much grip at high speed. That's where four-wheel drive comes in handy. And here we go. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. This is a fast car. I can't wait to get this onto the mile-long stretch at the back, which is a straight line. Because right now, I can't even get it on the circuit. I've got less control. The latest rock start. This car might have all the power in the world, but it's as grippy as an eel trapped in an oil slick. Still, it's good for mowing the lawn. We've found that out. Put a couple of blades under this, then you'd have the nicest lawn in the yard. It has a horrendous heavy understeer. At high speed, the car has very much a I'm going in a straight line mentality. It's not even fair to call it an American car leftish, rightish. It's less than that. It's left, right, that's it. But the power advantage it gets is incredible. And I bet on racing tyres this would be a lot better. See you later, Mr. M3 driver. I'm out of here. Yep, smooth as silk there. This is a part where normally you can just hold the throttle down and do light kink driving. In this car, I daren't try that. In this car, I'm treating every corner as an actual corner, because I'm going fast enough to pull away anyway. Yeah, it just doesn't... I find it rides the bumps very, very poorly. I think I have to work out a lot more with the suspension. With a bit of tuning, this could be an incredible car, actually. It's got a lot of power, but then, see what I mean about that heavy understeer? I got it there. And now I've got to go into the carousel. Oh, God help me. Yep. God help me indeed, I'm going to need it. Oh God, no. 950 brake horsepower in the freewheel Mercedes-Benz painted Motorwagen. Can you say death trap? And I don't just mean for the driver, I mean for everybody. That'll be the least stable car in the world. Still, we're holding our own and we're pulling away, which is amazing. I just want to get to that really long straightaway. I want to see exactly what this car can do. Because I got to 180 on the bumpy part and had to get out of the gas like that. I want to see what it can do on a proper, pure, blooded straightaway. Here we go, into the mini cell. That's it, and yes, we're through. Brilliant. Head up to the back straight. Oh, messy. Got away with it though, so that's fine. You're not wrong, Avian. That 1886 car would blow up if it had more than 4 horsepower as well. So here we go. We're on a straightaway. Let's see how fast this baby can hit. The answer is actually go a lot faster than I could do. I could make this car a lot faster because it's topping out and then stopping again. I reckon I'll put a long box on this. I'll be able to get it over 220 miles an hour, which could make it useful. That was pretty fast, 7 minutes 34 seconds. Not bad at all, considering I was running on sports tyres. And I started way down the field as well. Codename Speed Mower. It's not a bad name for it actually, that, Avian, you're not wrong. That's fantastic. That was a good run, I enjoyed that, good car. So the next stream for Gran Turismo 4, which will be in probably about a week and a half's time, I'm hoping to do that Tokyo route. Right, it's 4 races. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish all these. I'll be able to do at least this one and maybe High Speed Ring. I think that's where we'll end up calling it, because I'm in the office tomorrow, so unfortunately I can't stay on late. But this is the Tokyo 246, and we have a grid star. Excellent. Right, we're doing 2 laps of this. Wow, even that was too fast to go out of. Jeez. Say the problem is that on the sports tyres, the car just does not stop. It does not want to stop. I do like this street circuit actually. It's brilliant, the Tokyo 246. Unfortunately, it's not been seen for quite a while. It's a good mix of speed and technical ability. I say I still prefer Special Stage Route 11, but this is a great circuit nonetheless. I've actually been here, for real. Like the Sony headquarters is featured in it. No, the Honda, yes, the Sony and Honda both are on here. And then we're into the next corner, and we've gone very, very wide. Not supposed to go that wide, but at least I've got a straight line back to get maximum speed. Now, I'm braking at 200 meters. Maybe even before it. I'm not taking any chances with this car. I was right, 200 meters is the braking point. That's how poor the tyres are. Thanks to the tyres, I'm having to brake a lot earlier than I'd like. But it's okay because I'm still finding the grip. And at the moment I'm quite far ahead, so it's not a big deal. This car is a bit broken. It's a challenging car to drive, but it's a bit broken in terms of speed. Excellent, that's good. Yeah, that's right. Not only is there a Honda dealership here, Joe, but in the PS3 version of Gran Turismo 5, if you actually bring a Honda car here and park up in front of it, you get an achievement or a trophy called Take Your Honda Home, and you take it back to the main headquarters. Thank you, Matt J, for that one. Oops. No. That was my bottle falling over. No, it's not got 894 horsepower. I've got 952. What are you saying you're bad for? You're absolutely right. You're spot on. It's great. It's a great attention to detail. From the footage I've seen in later games, if you go to the Honda dealership, it actually has the robot Ashimo in the parking lot along with a few other Hondas, which is kind of cool. Right, I'm not doing Fuji Speedway. I'll do High Speed Ring, and this will be the final race for tonight, because I've then got to set down everything and got to work in the morning. So we're doing it in reverse. Oh, we got another. Fair enough. We got another grid start. That's awesome. Oi! That's what you get for hitting my car. Don't be jealous of my 950 brake horsepower Audi. Here we go, the classic. I love how it's called the high speed ring when it doesn't look like a ring. It looks more like a elephant, maybe. Oh, that was a very understeering moment, and I'm still understeering. I'm still off the track, but I'm still have some in the lead. Yeah, the weekend went fast for me because I was working overtime every single day. So I've not even had a weekend this weekend. But to be fair, next month I have a very long period of break because I'm going to be at a convention abroad, and I'm very much looking forward to it. 3 years late, we're finally going to do this, people. $200 mph, yeah, that's good, and I'm going to be getting on the brakes here. Yes, I've not done an overseas convention in 11 years, so I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, big grin in the comments there from Avian. I wonder why. Excellent, there we go. Yeah, this is a fast one. We're going fast here, people. Yes, we are quite a bit faster in the field here. We're about 23 seconds clear. Be even faster if I was on racing tyres and could get the grip out of the corners, but I'm not complaining too much. Because why would I complain? I'm dominating. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do nicely. That is a brilliant piece of speed. That's a matter of time for one more race, actually, so I'm going to go for it. The Schwarzwaldliga B. That's a mouthful, isn't it, people? And we'll do Fuji. I said I wouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it. I might even have time to do Suzuka, actually. I might finish the tournament. It'll only be a few minutes over my scheduled time. You know what? I owe it to you guys. You've all sat here listening to me. The least I can do. Finish on a prize. Sounds good to me. Right. My Audi is quicker than yours. A lot quicker. Yeah, 200 meters. We're definitely breaking about 200 meters in this car. Downhill at this corner, I'm not even going to risk it. There we go. Blasting to the lead. Getting a bit of shaky cam. So I really need to get some more makeup practicing actually before I come to that convention. One of the cosplays I want to do involves a lot of body paint, so I need to actually really figure out what I'm doing with it. So that'll be a weekend jobby when I've got enough days to be able to do it. Right, here we go. We're going to be easily hitting 200 miles an hour here, people. Ah, Schwarzwald is Black Forest. That makes sense, actually, the Black Forest of Germany. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, but just before 200 metres is the place to brake. I know very little German, but when I was over in Germany for the Wacken Festival in 2006, I learned two very useful phrases. One was "Sprachen Sie English," as in speak English, and the other was "Eine große Bier bitte," which was one big beer, please. Ah, well, that's kind of cool for you. I don't know if you say Top Gear's on the box at the moment. I don't watch the television anymore, so... Besides, I'm busy streaming. It'd be a very strange stream if someone said, "Tonight, you sit and watch me watch Top Gear." Yeah, that wouldn't be a lot of fun, really, would it? Although, to be fair, these people do reaction streams where they just, like, watch a video and give their commentary and have their... It all gets far too Inception for me, that. I mean, reaction content, my only big concern with it is very much a case of how much would it be dull to sit there watching someone talk about something they're watching. It just seems a bit, I don't know, there's something about it that seems reductive to me. I can understand it for a short video, don't get me wrong, but when you've got like one person doing it for 5-6 hours, I don't get it. Playing a game is different, at least there you're actually talking about what's going on with the game and everything else. Ah, that's cool. Yeah, if they're watching it, that's fantastic. Is it the modern series or is it the classic ones? Obviously, that show's off the air at the moment because presenter Andrew Flintoff has been involved in a rather serious accident. No one said quite what it is. We've not heard any news at all, which is kind of worrying when you think about it, because when Richard Hammond has his infamous rollover driving the Vampire jet car, that was broken news quite early. But there's been no news about what happened with Freddy, so I'm wondering what's actually happened. I'm not surprised that the knockoff in France is worse than the original. To be honest, the modern day British one's 100 times worse than the original. They don't have the chemistry of the three original hosts. That was what held it together. It was the three blokes being blokes. That's what made the show what it was. So we've got one more race after this before we wrap up for the night. We're going to finish this series. We're going to finish it. I've decided. I've started, so I shall finish. In the words of Magnuson, I believe it was, who used to post Mastermind back in the day. I've started, so I'll finish. And no, I'm not trying to say any innuendos before you hounds in the comments start saying it. That's not what I'm getting at. Right, so we're at Suzuka. This is going to be interesting in this car. A VW Golf GTI has no chance against my car. It's to the back of the grid with you, VW Golf GTI driver. Yes, hounds and gutter-minded individuals, Avian, you're not wrong. Yeah, this part of the circuit, this car is not very good. Mainly because, as I say, I've not messed around with the suspension. And I'm driving less grippy sports tyres, which, with the amount of power I'm throwing through the wheels, they just can't cope with it. Which is understandable, because this compound isn't that grippy. So when you have a lot more power going through the wheels, you get a lot more wheel spin. And that's why there's a lot of slipping and sliding. But to be fair, the four-wheel drive system is kind of compensating for it pretty well. Oh, we're off the track. That's not good. We've recovered though, so that's cool. Oh, what the... I got a tank slapper on then. I very nearly spun out. Must have put the power on too early. Yeah, compared to the legendary Audi Quattro that took on the World Rally Championship, this car's not quite got the same pedigree. But it has one thing that car didn't have. Power. Lots of it. Still, a 2:17 is quite an impressive lap time for a car that's not got anywhere near the down. Oh, I'm in trouble here. No, got away with it because I was able to turn it into the braking point for 2. That was very fortunate. I'll take that. It's not ideal, but I'll take it. Close to the end. Okay, awesome. Yep, that's good. Nicely through the hairpin. On the power, a nice gentle ratio. And we've had the overspin. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the car doesn't like high-speed changes of direction. It's not quite got the ability to lean on its tyres. So it's okay when I'm slowing down for a tight bend. The horsepower kind of drags the back end of the car around the corner. But when we're going at high speed and you need to rely on leaning on the tyre to carry extra speed through the corner, it's just not got the grip. But it's okay because it's holding its own beautifully. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Over to see one of the members of Goals Aloud. That's awesome, Fee. If you get to see it, then brilliant. Nice one. This should be it, but I'm not going to pop the champagne cork until I cross the line. Nowhere near as dominant, but I don't care. We've won. We've made it. Oh, you'll be down in London. Back in London, Tane. Oh, I've been down to London for a long time. Okay, there we go. So that's a 4 minutes 29. So that's excellent. So what's our prize car going to be? Because we should have completed all the events. Here we go. Oh, excellent! With some more horsepower, that could be enough to win the DTM Championship. Oh, well, that would be a fantastic double stream of that and the Tokyo 246 route race on the next endurance stream that we're going to do. That will be, as I say, in a couple of weeks when we next play GT4, because we are going to be back on the Wednesday evening when we will be picking up Resident Evil 4 Remake. We had our Uncharted moment on the stream last time, and now we want to carry on and find out what's happening to the President's daughter. And then after that, on the Friday, we will be back into the world of RPGs as we go back to Shin Megami Tensei and the Digital Devil Saga 2. But until then, thank you all very, very much for watching tonight. You've all been brilliant. And sports tyres, they have so little grip.